So I wanted to kind of press you on one of those ideas. You said that people are not, they never can show their true selves as long as they have something to gain,
or lose.
or lose. I would say that all throughout life, every single day, essentially, there are challenges or whatever, but there is something to gain or lose. So, what do you think about the idea that somebody is that person in how they react to what they stand to gain or lose? Not so much that there's them and then the situations, but they are who they are as a result of how they react to the situations.
So I I understand I understand the direction which you're pointing. So there's everything ends up being on a gradient. So the most obvious thing that people have to gain or lose in certain situations that can make them deceptive is money. When there's money involved, the true self of a person is not as likely to show, especially if they're trying to get money out of you or if money is involved. What's more pernicious, that's harder to see, is when people are trying to emotionally manipulate you, right? So compare a business interaction versus an interaction with two friends on a porch who are just hanging out. Two friends who don't really have anything to gain or lose from each other. They've been friends for a long time. They enjoy each other's company. That's going to be a much more authentic interaction than a business interaction. Business interaction can be authentic, but there's going to be still layers of things that people withhold and so forth. That's the main contrast. Now, even in one-on-one relationships, when there's a personal dynamic of trying to get something out of somebody, which can exist within any relationship, friends, family, so forth, the similar patterns happen that are less easy to detect. Like, there are certain people that could be described as emotional leeches. They're always trying to get approval. They're trying to extract something out of you, whether it's approval or validation or something of that nature. Or conversely, not conversely, but in a more malignant way, they try to step on you. They try to get a little ego fill by making you feel small and little. And it can happen through subtle interactions, subtle things. And it's subtle energies that you feel. And it's not necessarily in the words. So in my life, I've spoken to, thousands of people. And you can detect more or less what's going on between you two just through how you feel about it. I mean, your emotional truth is not necessarily the full truth of the matter, but it's not in the words that they say. A lot of friends, they joke around and they say really nasty stuff to each other as a joke. And they enjoy it, and they laugh, and they have a good time about it. Other times, other types of relationships, people will say, it'll all be couched in this very cleverly formulated language, but there's something inside the person as they're formulating it in this really formal, formulated way that's designed to make you feel insignificant or condescend on you or whatever it may be, to make themselves feel better or to get something out of you, emotionally speaking. And those are the things that you need to look out for. And it's not a matter of becoming paranoid or becoming cynical about relationships. The more you know about how bad people can be, I think the more wise you get, and the more it hurts. The more you get opened up to how bad people can be, it hurts. Especially if you grew up like innocent and no one was saying anything to you that was negative, you had good relationships. It can be a rude awakening when you step into the world and you see how bad people can be. And it can feel existentially awful. That's not a signal, though, to then become that way yourself. And it's not a signal then to become paranoid. A good way to go forth in general is to trust people. And then through a trust-to-trust relationship, all of the manipulations more or less drop away, disappear. And in that type of relationship where it doesn't disappear, you can just phase a relationship out of your life, unless you're entangled, if they're your boss or if they're in your family or something, or if you work with them, you can't get out of it. But what was your question? something about something to gain or lose, right? Yeah, that's
Well, yeah.
that's the long version.